the last thing we'll see with tables for now is how we can create these headers, or any cells really, that span multiple columns or multiple rows. So in this table, we've got some of these headers that are 2 rows tall: city, country, skyline, population estimate, and then here we've got one row, but we've got elements, we've got headers that are 2 columns, or in this case, 3 columns wide. So I'd like to make a second table, probably slim it down. So I'm just going to copy our table here. And down here, maybe I'll just put an H2 or something to separate them. For now, I'll just write V2. And we're just going to bother with the animal name, the average mass, and the maximum mass. We'll get rid of maximum mass. So it'll just be those 3. But I am going to need to remove the maximum mass cell from each one of these. Okay, so here's our beginner first step of this table. And I'd like to have 2 columns, one for kilograms and one for pounds, instead of combining them. So I want kilograms and then pounds, and I want them both to have a shared header like we have here. So I want it to say average mass and then kilograms, pounds. So to do this, I'm going to start by making 4 TDs in each one of these. So we had 104 here for kilograms, and then 230 for pounds. And then I'm going to do the same thing. So 200 here, and then 29.8 will go right there. Okay. Now we only have 3 headers at this point. So I'm going to redo my headers now so that we just have kilograms, and then below that we'll have pounds. But what I want to do is have a header above them that says average mass. And if I'm losing you, we're following this pattern here. So we'll have kilograms, pounds, average mass on top. So to make this work, we need to use 2 attributes we have not yet seen, called Colspan and Rowspan. Okay, so all that we need to do is make 2 rows of headers. So we're going to have 2 TRs. And in our top row, we're going to have animal. We'll have a new header that's not there yet, and flighted. So I'm going to move things around. We've got animal. I'm going to move these 2 THs down here. And this should start making sense in a bit. And then I'm going to add a new TH in here that just says average mass. So right now this is a problem. We have 5 equally sized THs. This is not really what we want, right? What I want here is to have animal take up 2 full rows in height. So this whole thing would be animal. I want average mass to take up 1 row in height, but I want it to go 2 columns across. So let me show you how this works. On animal, we can set row span to be 2. So now animal should take up 2 rows, and there we go. Its height is 2 rows. 1 row here, 1 row there. So I can do the same thing for flighted, which is what I want. Okay, still a little bit messed up because we need to say that average mass is spanning 2 columns. So Colspan equals 2. Refresh, and there we go. So it's still pretty ugly, but now what we've done is created 2 rows of headers. Some of the headers here, like animal, if I actually inspect, it might be easier to see. It takes up 2 full rows. This takes 2 full columns going horizontally, and that takes up 2 full rows. And then down below we have another row, and it really is just kg and lb, kilograms and pounds. They each are sort of 1 by 1, 1 row by 1 column, like a typical header. So we can use those attributes to manipulate things, to resize, and to have different headers or even different cells that span across, not just a single row or a single column. It can be a little confusing, so just play around with them, but honestly, you're not going to need to do that very often. It's more important that we move on to forms, so don't get hung up on those 2 attributes. Okay, here we go, forms.